getting straight to the question of what this the topic of what this live stream is about. Sorry, my hair look a mess. I'm supposed to be going somewhere tomorrow, so I just combed my hair and just left it the way it was. But yeah, so the topic is why do, and I've been sitting there thinking about why do when people, this is like for the people who live in apartments and who's had this type of experience before, or know somebody who lives in apartments and the management team or people or person or whoever works in that office like to treat why do they treat their tenants like they like crap? They talk to them like crap, they treat them like crap, they say smart mouth slick things, but then want to backdoor. You have someone want to backdoor and just laugh it off like or laugh it off like it wasn't nothing, or they backdoor when you come in. They or two face. You can see the two facedness. They mean 1 minute, then the next minute they want to laugh and kiki with you and all that. But then at the same time, or either you'll have one like that, and then you'll have one that's mean, nice, mean, and then you'll have one that you'll have a you can have an apartment management team that's nosy as hell. They'll feed you little pieces of their personal life to see how much of your personal information you're gonna tell them that has nothing to do with you living in the apartment, you paying the rent, you keeping your bills paid, or anything of that nature that would concern them. That's any of their business. See, my thing is every apartment that I almost have stayed at that I can think of off the top of my head somehow likes to treat their tenants like shit, basically. Like with a situation that happened, they were like, I don't care if he. I'm like, I don't care if they gone. I'm like, damn. It's not what you say, it's how you say it at the same time. Sometimes it could be a mixture of both, but it's what you say and how you say it, and sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you deliver it. It's the delivery of the words that come out of your mouth that make people not want to fuck with you, that make people want to go postal. But if they didn't have a place to live or had another place to go, they would have went off on your ass. Some people, like in this other apartment I stayed in, this lady was like, she don't give a fuck if she ain't got nowhere to stay or not. You gonna respect her just because you work in the office and you feel like. And I told her, I said, maybe the reason why they talk to you like that is because they feel like you need them. Without them, you wouldn't have a place to stay. So they feel like you have to kiss their ass, and they can act like that to you and treat you like that because you need a place to stay. She was like, I don't give a fuck if I need a place to stay or not. She was like, you're not about to disrespect me. You're not about to talk to me in any kind of way. You're not about to treat me like shit. You're not about to bully me. You're not about to belittle me in any kind of way. Just because you work here and I live here, you should still, it doesn't matter. She was like, you should still treat that person with human decency. You should still treat that person with some type of dignity, some type of respect, some type of like, just treat them like a person. Hi, Guns, the plays, Gun plays. How are you? Sorry, I said your name wrong, but how are you? Yeah, and she was like, you should still, hi, how are you? Just existing? She said, you should still treat people with all types of respect. I'm glad you're good. She was like, whether they live where you work at and you don't have to live there given the situation or whatever have you, just because they eat where you work at, just because they may you made the y'all work it, she was like throwing out different examples. She was like, just because you're at a higher position and these people you feel like are beneath you because hold on. I'm okay. I'm just talking. I feel like I'm getting a sore throat though, but otherwise I'm okay. But yeah, she was like, just because you feel like you're up here and you feel like quote unquote these people are beneath you, which they are not. She was like, because at the end of the day, just like these people need you, God can make it to where you need somebody else, or you may need them. God might make the you feel like you're up here and they down here. God might switch it and have them up here and you need them for something. But yeah, I'll be okay. I wish I had some cough syrup. I do need to get me some, but I have to wait until Friday. But anyways, yeah. It's like, these people like get you have them people, and this could be in any position or any situation. You have hi just existing, how are you? You have these people that can get a little bit of like taste of authority or get a position that gives them a little bit of authority over somebody, and they will take that and let that inflate their head so fucking big that that gives them a reason to mistreat people, give them a reason to talk to people stupid, give them a reason to talk to the people who are they feel like are beneath them, give them a reason to be like, I'm an authority figure over you, so that gives me a reason to talk to you or treat you any kind of way. No, that don't. Because at the end of the day, just like I'm a person, you're a person too. Just like I have feelings, you have feelings too. Just like I have emotions, you have emotions too. Just because, just like you have, I have people that can say something that upset me. Exactly, you are. So that's how it's supposed. That's how it's supposed to be. Guns, guns. Can I call you guns? That's how it's supposed to be, but not everybody understands that or cares about that. Mostly cares about that because they get, like I said, they get the little tiniest shred of some type of authority and they feel like that swells their head up. Okay, thank you. That swells their head up so freaking big that makes them on cloud nine way up here, and everybody in the world is beneath them, or everybody where they work at is beneath them. And in this case, their management at they work for a corporate office that's above them, and their management so at an apartment where there's tenants. So they feel like they're above the tenants and they can talk to the tenants any kind of way. Exactly. That makes them think they can control everything and everybody. But they do have to realize, and what I feel like they don't realize is the fact that just because you're management, there are people who do work in that apartment or who do live in those in that complex that you work at. Just because you don't have to live there does not mean that somebody won't beat your ass. I'm sorry to say it like that and put it straight out like that, but that doesn't mean that everybody's gonna bow down and kiss your ass. That doesn't mean that every tenant in there is gonna let you just disrespect them. Let you exactly. Exactly. You got that right, guns. You got that right. I'm 100% on yours on that same page with you. Just because you're management and they're a tenant, you still should respect that person at the first and foremost. You should still respect that person at the very least because they're a human being just like you are. Whether you're a tenant or whether you work management or for the corporate office, you put your pants on one leg at a time, just like this person does. And honestly, if you think about it, and I don't know, you tell me if I'm wrong. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. If you think about it, break it all the way down. If this person stopped paying their rent, do you think you're gonna have a job? If ever, not even just that, if everybody in that apartment stopped paying their rent, where's your money gonna come from? If they shut down them apartments today or tomorrow, you're gonna have to go find another job. Am I right or wrong? You're in management. I probably am. I don't know, but I'm just saying they might have to go find another complex to work at because there was an apartment that I worked at. I mean, that I lived at. This lady, she was the manager. She would treat everybody like crap because for some, well, it was discriminatory because she's Hispanic and you can only see. Well, I'm not saying it. I'm just gonna say she would treat everybody that I've seen with my own two eyes, and it happened in front of me. She would treat those people like different than she would treat other people, the other tenants. And thank you, Guns. I mean, I could be wrong. I could not be wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying this is just my way of thinking. That's just the way my brain is putting it all in order. But it's like this lady would treat a certain demographic of people like crap because you can tell every time somebody that comes in looking a specific way, being of a specific demographic of people, and then you have another group of people that will come in that looks just like her, that talks just like her. Thank you, just existing. She would treat them like with the utmost respect, but the other demographic of people, she would talk to them like shit. She would treat them like shit. She would basically, and then she would treat them like they're beneath her. Thank you, Guns. And I've seen with me sitting in that office, sitting back. I'm a people watcher. I'm a situation watcher. I'm sitting there watching all this play out in front of me. I'm like, because You had one lady come in that looks just like her. Then you had another lady that comes in that looks the opposite of her. She would, you can see the energy, you can feel the energy shift in the room between when the lady that looks like her left. She was an older lady. And then the other lady came in inquiring about an apartment, a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom. You can see the way she does, you can feel the energy shift. You can see the way she just nonchalant, just brushed that lady off, just so automatically assumed that lady could not afford the apartment. Whereas then too, she told the lady that looks like her, gave them the cheaper price, quoted them the cheaper price. Whereas the other lady that didn't look like her, that fits the other demographic, she came in, she told her a higher price than she told the other lady that looked like her. I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking, because I'm filling out my paperwork. I'm like, for a new renewing my lease or whatever. I'm like, this don't make no damn sense. She just sat there and lied to both of those ladies. Or however have you. But see, my thing is, if it's like, you should treat people the way you want to be treated. And going back really quickly, the way she treated those ladies, she ended up, long story short, that manager ended up having, even end up for, it could have been for that reason, it could have been for other reasons. I don't know. All I know is, for at least 3 to 4 more months after that incident that I saw happen right in front of me while I was in that office, that lady was gone. That manager wasn't there anymore. She ended up coming to find out when I went to go took my one of my friends to another apartment complex a few neighborhoods over, well, a whole neighborhood, a few neighborhoods and a couple of freeways over. That same manager that was a manager at the apartments I lived in was a manager over there, and she was doing the same thing over there, from what my cousin had said, because my cousin had walked in and seen a lady that looks just like her, the manager, and a lady that looks just like my cousin, well, my friend, and my cousin was there. We were all just chilling together, and that was like a spur of the moment thing. So they went in there. No, my cousin went in there, and she was like, "Yeah." She told this lady that looked like her one price, and she told me something completely higher and different. I'm like, it's the same shit that she used to do where at the apartment that I lived in. It's crazy, right? And the way I was raised, my grandma always told me, look, treat people the way you want to be treated. If you don't want somebody to do you dirty, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you don't want nobody to hurt you, mistreat you, belittle you, disrespect you, give people that same amount of respect. The amount of respect you give a CEO should be the same amount of respect you give a homeless person. At the end of the day, my grandma always told me, at the end of the day, I can't even talk. Everybody's blood, when they bleed, everybody bleeds the same. Everybody's blood is the same color, basically. That's what she was saying. And she was like, you should not have more respect for one person, then you should not treat one person more like a human being than look at the other people. Exactly, just existing. That's what my grandma would always say. Treat people how you want to be treated. So then I look at it like, I live by that because my grandma installed that in me. I'm like, so how do you figure? I'm like, that had me thinking like, so that means the flip of that would mean the people that treat you like crap must means that they want you to treat them like crap. Wouldn't that make you think like that? Like, because if you treat people, you're supposed to treat people how you want to be treated, and then you're treating somebody like crap and treating them like shit, basically. That means that's how you want to be treated, right? That's how you showing them you want to be treated. If you use the same logic, because if you treat, I try to treat everybody with the same amount of respect that I would want them to give me, or that I would want them to give my grandmother, or that I would want them to give the people that I care about. So if you're a cook in a restaurant and I run into you and I run into the owner, the same respect and amount of dignity and decency and human respect that I give the owner, I'm gonna give the cook. If the owner talking to me and it's yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Yeah, they do. Some people do act like shit, just guns. They do. If it's yes ma'am, no ma'am with the yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir with the owner, it's gonna be the same thing with the cook for me. Yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Why can't, and then going back to the whole apartment management team situation, why are, and it's always for me, and just me at the very least, It's always one specific type of person that they feel like they can just whatever for whatever reason in their brain, they feel like they can just mistreat, disrespect, and belittle and put down their tenants that live where they work at. Because for one assistant manager at another apartment I lived at, she told me because she don't have to live there, so she could talk to people however she wants, talk to the tenants however she wants. I'm like, that don't, you know what? That don't make no fucking sense. At the end of the day, just because you work here and I live here, you should still respect me as a human being at the very least. I'm not saying to respect me as a person. I'm not saying respect me as whatever have you. Okay, guns, take your time. I'm saying respect me as a human being at the very least because I do the same thing to you. I give you that type of respect as a human being. And come to find out, the way them tables turned, she ended up having to live in the apartments because she got kicked out of her mama's house for whatever reason. She was telling everybody, and I overheard it. I'm like, oh, how when I passed by her, she was like, I'm living here, and I'm like, oh, wow, how the tables have turned, huh? Remember, you said you didn't have to live here. That gives you a reason to talk to people, however, talk to the tenants, however you want, because they're beneath you. Now you live here, just like the rest of us. So I'm like, by that logic, does that give us a reason to talk to you the way you talk to us? Does that give us a reason to mistreat you, belittle you, put you down, and make you feel like shit and talk to you all shitty and crappy? No. You wouldn't want us to do the same thing to you because now you're a tenant. You still want that same level of respect that you used to have when you used to work here. No. However you treat people, and I said for me, okay, however you treat people, that's how people gonna treat you. That's how people should treat you, good or bad. And then, but my thing is, I don't have it in my. I have the type of heart that no matter how, if somebody treat me like shit, I'm gonna go pray about it. I'm still gonna give that person respect. But at the same time, I'm not gonna talk to that person anymore. I'm gonna keep them at an arm's length away from me. But I'll still give you that type of respect because that's the person. That's the type of person I am. But yeah, I don't understand how the hell you got these management teams. And then you got the corporate office. Some of the people in the majority of the people in the corporate office be the type of people that gives the tenants way more respect than the people in the management office do. The people in the management office, like again, like I said, you got the corporate office. They employ the people that are the managers. The people and managers in their heads so fucking swelled up, they think they above the corporate office, and they feel like they can treat everybody like shit that lives in those apartments, and that everybody in them apartments that live there is supposed to kiss their ass or jump when they say jump. They like to make new rules. They like as they go along. It's not even the rules don't even be in the fucking lease. They're just making new rules as the days increase. They on top of that doing stupid stuff like that because they don't like certain tenants. So they trying to make it like, oh, well, these are the rules for everybody. Well, if they're the rules for everybody, why are the rules just now popping up? Why are the rules only put when it's typed up? Is only put on certain people's doors? Why is the rules only why are you sneaking then too? A subset of that, they sneakingly find ways if they don't like the tenant for whatever reason or no reason at all, they find ways to use other tenants or to get back at them by doing silly little things like putting new tenants in above you when they know they tell. And I'm just me surmising. This just me guessing. I can't say if it happens because I don't have no proof and I don't 100% know for sure. But I feel like they do stuff like that. So they tell the people that move in above you, they know exactly where they're going to put these new tenants coming in. They put them above you. Yeah, I don't like this tenant. So make as much noise as you possibly can because they stay up under you. So you can be as loud as you want. You can throw stuff on the floor. You can do this, that, and the third. I'm like, and then they get, I understand with the curfew for some reason, some ways I don't. I'm like, how can you tell somebody also with the other apartment I used to live in, how can you tell somebody they can't sit in their own car that they bought that you didn't contribute to? I can kind of understand the working on your car somewhat, but if somebody's car won't start or they're trying to leave, but they can't leave because they can't start their car, they have to open up the hood to start their car. You have to understand that. But they don't understand that until they're in that situation. Hence the situation of the other assistant manager at the other apartment I used to live at. Hence the situation of her going from I don't have to live here, so I can talk to people however I want. Y'all tenants, I don't have to live here. To her, drastically, them tables turning. She ended up having to live there and end up becoming a tenant. Now she see it from the tenant's point of view. No, you should have been a better person first and foremost before you even. It shouldn't have to take you becoming a tenant to realize that tenants need to be respected too, or should be respected too. I mean, that's just me. That's just how I think. I just don't understand how the hell you get these people that get this little bitty piece of a type of authority figure, I guess I can say for lack of a better word. And they let that shit get them to their head so bad. They swell their head up so big. They start thinking they better than everybody and everybody at their work and that lives where they work at are so beneath them. They lower than the scum on the ground. They lower than a piece of gum that you step on. They lower than a crack that you step on in the sidewalk because they need you. In your mind, they need you. If it weren't for you, they wouldn't have a place to live. You dictate their life. You tell them what to do. Like, look, you get to talk to them however you want. No, you don't. Just because I need this place to live and I'm paying you rent and I'm paying you rent and I'm paying my bills and I'm giving you human decency type of respect does not give you a right. Just because I live where you work at does not give you a right to talk to me any kind of way. That does not give you a right to be rude and disrespectful to me. That does not give you a right to tell me what I can do in the place that I pay you rent to live at within reason. Now, if it's knocking holes in walls and stuff, if it's tearing up the poles and stuff that holds the stairs and stuff together and all that, and ripping shit out the ceiling and stuff, y'all can see that. That's the destruction of property that ain't mine. I'm just paying you to live here. But belittling me, making me feel like I'm less than, making me feel like I have to kiss your ass just because I live where you work and you're above me somehow. You're better than me somehow. No, that shit don't fly. You should not do that to nobody. I don't give a fuck what your job is. I don't give a fuck if I do have to live where you work. I still deserve the same amount and same level of respect that you expect from us, that you expect from me. If I can give it to you, why you can't give it to me? Why you can't respect me? That's all I want to say. These apartment management people are getting way the hell out of hand now. And add on top of that, the rent is already goddamn high. And they sneakily adding charges in for other things, for other tenants. Oh, you don't have to pay a water bill. We just gonna put it on the person that lives under you or the person that lives next to you. We're just gonna put charge more to their rent, to their water bill. They'll pay anything because they ain't got nowhere to go. And then if they do try to get out of line and talk to me crazy, I'll put them out. I ain't got time for them. They know they supposed to kiss my ass because if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have shit. They wouldn't have a roof over their head. I don't care what it is. I don't care how you think. Because them people, tenants where you work at, the way I feel, and like I said, and I'm gonna continue to say, I could be wrong. But honestly, we're paying the rent. And I have to Google and see how this goes. Hold on. Let me ask Google. Hold on just 1 second, y'all. Okay, so this is what I asked Google. I said technically if the tenant is paying their rent and the management team and does the management team get does the tenant paying their rent pays the management team's paychecks? And this is what it said. Hold on.
Yes, property management teams are usually paid directly from the rent collected from tenants. Management companies typically deduct their fees, which are usually between 6 and 12% of the monthly rent, before sending the remaining money to the property owner.
So I guess my thought was right. My logic, the way I was thinking, the tenants paying their rent is what pays the management team's paychecks. That's how the management team get paid their checks. Is off the backs of the tenants, basically. So I was right. And I'm like, those same people that pay your paycheck, all of a sudden your brain, your inflated sense of whatever have you, y'all put in a word that goes right there. I can't think right now. If they so beneath you and they have to kiss your ass, those people are the ones that you treating like shit. Those people are the ones that pay your paycheck. That's what that is. Here it is right here. It might be a little backwards if y'all can see it, but that's exactly what it said. And I played it for y'all to hear it. So why you treat these people like shit? Matter of fact, you honestly, if you want to go deeper, go that route, the way my brain is thinking, without these people, you wouldn't be able to get gas in your car. You wouldn't be able to afford food. You wouldn't be able to buy clothes because these people is what's keeping your work, keeping these people that you are so beneath you and less than you, and you talk to disrespectfully and very, very rude. These people are keeping you paid. These people are keeping your bills paid. These people are keeping gas in your car. These people are keeping you having been able to go out and buy food to put in your icebox, the or refrigerator. These people are the ones who's keeping clothes, keeping you able to go buy clothes for you, your family, and your kids if you have any. These people are the reason why you're able to afford a new car. These people are the reason why you're able to afford the hopefully the house that you live in or the apartment because this man was in an apartment. So did the other apartment that I lived in. She lived in an apartment. And she would buy new vehicles every in month, every year. You would see her. I'm not saying if she would buy it or not, but you would see her in a new vehicle every year. We're just gonna say every year because for months I seen her driving a truck. Then all of a sudden I seen her driving it was a Dodge Ram, an old Dodge Ram, like 2002 or something. And all of a sudden she upgraded to a 2012 at that time. That was new because it was 2012. So basically this whole entire time, it has been that way that the management team get paid off the backs of the rent that of the people that live in apartments that they work at that they think they're better than. That's crazy. That is fucking crazy. Like, so you mean to tell me y'all treating us like shit, want us to kiss y'all's ass, but y'all still, yeah, like I said, so if my leg hurts, so if everybody just hypothetically, not saying that it's gonna happen because it's not, people need places to live. If everybody in that complex stop paying their rent, the management team don't get paid, right? Hold on, let me ask Google. Hold on. So, hypothetically speaking, or just asking a random question, if everybody in an apartment complex were to stop paying their rent all at once, would the management team still get paid their paychecks? Let's see. It says in a hypothetical scenario where the tenant stops paying rent simultaneously, the management team would likely still get paid their personal paychecks at least in the short term. However, the management company has a business as a business would face immediate financial crisis. Whether they get paid depends on their role and the specific contracts in place. Okay. On site leasing management, leasing agents management, maintenance and managers. Most staff members working at an apartment complex are employees of a management firm or the property owner. They are typically paid a fixed salary on an hourly wage. Okay. So this is what it says. I'm just gonna go off this top part. That's what it says. Right here. I know it's kind of backwards for y'all, but yeah. So it would affect their paychecks at the very least. All I'm going to end this with saying is these management people and management teams and companies of these apartments who the higher ups need to be careful, really be careful of the people who they hire as managers because those people get an inflated self of I can't even think of the word, but they think their heads start swelling up big because the tenants, they start mistreating the tenants, being disrespectful to the tenants. I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah, that's just crazy. They need to be careful who they who they hire. They need to really sit down and triple check, or just not even just triple check, because people pass their background checks. They need to be like, okay, let's go do a quarterly, hourly, monthly, daily, weekly, however much evaluation of our management team, the people that work for us in the complex. I now know that ain't gonna be likely because you got some property owners that own multiple properties, and there's no way possible they can get out to every property to go do an evaluation. They could do a yearly, an annual evaluation of at least a handful of their properties at once. And I would do it the way I think about it. Ask a few of the tenants, just a few, like a small handful of people. Like, so how do you feel about the management team? Or even just send out a personal email. How do you feel about the management team there? How's things going there? That would be considerate, but I know that that ain't gonna happen. Not no time soon is it gonna happen, if it will ever happen. But yeah, that would be. So I bet the property owner or the corporate office would be so shocked and amazed at how some of the answers come back on how their tenants are being treated by the management team. They would be so fucking shocked. Like, wow, we didn't even know they were that bad, because when they applied and we hired them, they put that mask on. Everything was good. When they get into the job, they start treating tenants like shit. Because honestly, what's keeping the apartment alive and thriving and making money is the fucking tenants. The same people that's getting treated like shit, we're the ones that is keeping things alive and popping in my brain. But yeah, y'all have a blessed day. Thank y'all for letting me vent and get this out my system. Thank y'all for commenting, liking, sharing, and everything, whatever have you. For those of you that didn't get to catch it and that want to watch it as a replay or whatever, leave y'all continue this conversation going in the comment section, or leave your comments in the comment section about how you feel about this situation. Have you lived in an apartment like this? Have you lived in an apartment, period? How do you feel about, have you experienced anything like this with the management team treating tenants, or even you, or even people that you know or loved ones, like crap, like shit, because they job position makes them to them makes them way up here above everybody that lives in the apartments, because they feel like tenants are beneath them. The tenant need them to have a place to live, so that means by proxy you have to kiss their ass to have a place to live. The fuck. But yeah, that ain't true. But yeah, I will see y'all later. Thank y'all for being here. Bye guys. Thank y'all for everything. See y'all later.